Okay. We're going to open the meeting and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll open the April 22nd Board of Supervisors meeting. We've been pledging for days.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Got it.
Okay, yeah.
They need it.
So, is there any public comment? Yes,
Should I get up there?
Yes,
Get up
right-
there.
right in the
This
center.
is my first time.
and
Still
give,
the
and,
opportunity I have.
and
How
wait,
much should I
and
say?
give Lori your name and address.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Worsley. I'm at 3499 Durham Road, Doylestown, Buckingham. Thank you. So is this the only time if I have questions about something that's being proposed today?
If it's on the agenda, then wait until we get to that agenda item.
Okay, and then I can speak after that. Okay, so I'll wait. So I'll give you my name again. Happy Earth Day, by the way.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Any public comment on an item that's not on the agenda?
Stephanie Watts.
A comment.
Hi. So I just wanted to ask, in light of the fact that it's Earth Day, and I know that Andrea Strout has resigned from the EAC, I was wondering what we were going to do to move forward or how are we gonna handle replacing her on the board? And I'd like to just ask if we were going to put in an ad on our website like we did for the candidates for Parks and Rec, that'll be one. And two, I would also like to say that in my conversation with Andrea when she left, she suggested that we lean more towards someone who has some background in science, biology, and, I mean, we have people who meet other needs, but we might need more scientists on our board. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. And she actually also went to our planning commission. And one of the members of the planning commission is interested in it, but not taking over Andrea, not doing what the focus that Andrea did. So we absolutely need to find someone who's
Did the
interested.
gentleman go?
In those areas,
Thank you.
who
Yes.
has experience in those areas.
Yes.
Great, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're going to pass, we're going to vote on the energy
And yes,
thing,
I
that
saw
yeah,
that.
The
that we
local
did
climate.
with
Yeah.
Penn State. Yeah,
Excellent.
Lisa.
Hi, Lisa Bro, 3352 Dark Hollow Road. I just wanted to first acknowledge since the last meeting, we had the Easter egg hunt and I attended that. It was wonderful. It was great to see Maggie and Mike there. It was great to see the amazing work that MJ did. And you really get to see how everyone has to come together for that, from Public Works, the police, I know back of house coordination. And as we, are embarking on bringing Parks and Rec to life, just seeing how much work goes into these events and activities. And I know it is also administrative week, or I think it's today is the celebration day. So I just wanted to give kudos because I don't know if a lot of people really understand how much coordination it takes to do these things. Events don't just happen. And I think, in the past year with the 325, and the EAC events, Buckingham's done a really great job in showing up, and I just wanted to thank you guys for that, and thank you to Dana for already reaching out for Parks and Rec, willing to sit down with Elise and I and help us, so I just wanted to say I appreciated that. And of course, I'm now gonna jump to my Ag Security Commission. I know I'm like a broken record about this, but I just have questions regarding the commission and kind of its existence. So I guess my first question would be, I guess within the past year or two, have there been other requests from other residents for this commission to meet?
No.
I'm sorry, I'll let you speak.
Yeah, no. We meet when someone applies for ag security.
So no one's applied in the last 5 years.
But I think you guys were talking about having a joint meeting.
Correct.
After
Lisa knows
you
that. I
came,
told her.
right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They were
Right,
going
so
to have
no one's
the
applied
next
in the
one.
last 5 years.
No. Some people already belong in the ag security
Yeah, no one
when-
applied to be on the commission.
Correct, and
No, I'm
nobody's,
not
I-
talking about the commission, I'm talking
Yeah.
about applying to be in
No.
ag security.
no. The people that have already applied to preserve their property were already on it.
Okay, so
They
we
don't have to go through us if they're already on it.
But if they're not in ag security, then they apply and meet with
And
them.
we put them on ag
Okay,
security.
so we just
Yeah,
haven't done that in the past
correct.
5 years.
So like the farm that we're trying to preserve now off of Anderson Road, they were already in it. And we've moved forward with our obligations when it comes to it, and we're just waiting for the county. And they were supposed to do something last November, but because the county government changed it now they're talking about next November.
Oh, no, they're going to settlement soon. I got
Okay,
it.
because the
Yeah,
last,
I think they're back on track.
Yeah,
now.
they're way
because
back,
the
yeah.
last time we talked,
Yeah.
they had told Dana, oh, this is not going to happen until November. It wasn't on the list, and Dana reminded them that it was like number 1 on the list.
No.
It was number one.
Yeah,
on
so
the
they
Number
just
one
didn't
on the
know that,
list,
so.
and it's moving forward, and I don't know if they got in touch with you yet, but that and Frank Rip's farm, and they're,
Okay.
They just
Good.
brought
Yeah.
the Rip farm to the state.
yeah.
Has
board
John
meeting, I think.
contacted you about Anderson Road?
John's not there anymore.
Oh, he's not
It's
there.
Brent Aaron.
No,
Yeah.
he's talking about John Van Leeuwenhoek.
Yeah.
Oh, John Van Luby.
John
They're
Van
talking
Leeuwenhoek.
No,
about
I haven't heard from John.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I
what.
mean, I shouldn't say that, John. I've heard from him over the last year and a half
Right,
on
right,
this.
just
That
nothing.
we've tried to work out, but recently I have not heard.
Okay,
I'm trying to remember her name so I could look up the email, but that's
Yeah,
that's
okay.
happening.
okay, good.
Okay,
Hope
so
it happens
then,
sooner than
what-
later.
so when was the last time we did have an ag security commission meeting?
Oh, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, well, I've been on the commission for 5 years, so I know we haven't.
Yeah, so it was probably before then.
Is there a way that I could get that actual information and the minutes from
Yeah, we
that?
probably have it somewhere. No, I don't know.
You've
I'm
got
sure
it.
Yeah.
sure we have.
We'll
the
look for
minutes
it, but-
somewhere.
So was that a yes or a no?
Yeah, if we have it, if we have it, we'll get it to you.
Okay, that would be great. And then I know you did respond to my email, so I appreciate that, about saying that we are gonna have a meeting and the Ag Preservation Board is going to combine with
Combined,
that.
and correct.
Do we
Right.
know when that's gonna happen?
No, I read that email. I didn't realize it was with ag preservation. It's time for me to
Yeah,
to
Dana and I have been
to
talking
do
about
a
it, so.
meeting for what quarter is this? The
I think it's
second
just
quarter.
coordinating
It's time.
everyone.
Yeah. All right. I'll just send it. I'll
So
get it
we'll
done.
have something out soon.
What's
We don't
your
have a date
schedule
yet.
like? What's your schedule like?
I mean, I can be
You're
available. I
here.
asked last month, so it's
Okay.
already been a month, so that's why I'm trying to actually get a
I
date.
I didn't realize that my committee was involved in this, but
Well, we
I
thought,
can do that. quick.
Because I
Yeah,
think
we
that the
thought-
meeting was
I can
going to be
send an
on
email out.
inviting the farmers in and just a general farmer, so
And then-
that you
Yeah.
guys thought
and then
maybe
get an
add
update.
them together.
And get an update.
Yep.
An update on the current preservation projects that we've been waiting to get done since November.
And now that we have updates from the county,
Yep.
you'll have some
It'll
Yeah.
be perfect.
news.
Right,
So,
that's what I was thinking. That's
So
why. I was
yeah,
gonna-
look at your dates,
I was
and
gonna
then
email my.
we'll send
my,
something out to everyone.
Okay, great. On another topic, I know that Buckingham is working on their comprehensive plan.
Yes.
So I know you guys are like the planning commission is having sort of separate dates to meet for the comprehensive plan.
Yes.
Are those intended for are residents encouraged to attend those to participate in the comprehensive planning? Or like as I understand, when you do comprehensive planning, you usually pull in maybe a member from the EAC, a member from the Parks and Rec, there's some like community involvement
Well,
in it.
yes, once we get going, and we have not, Dana and I are embarking on this. And once we have a meeting with the county on this, absolutely, we need the input from everybody you just mentioned.
Well, and I think that the meetings that they're having right now is to come up with their schedules. So the planning commission are the main membership team
Right.
that's going to be spearheading the comprehensive plan. And they are guided through the Bucks County Planning Commission, who is our planner, and they're, taking the lead. So I know they were just having their meeting to get some dates and kind of plan moving forward. And as they go through, they'll then have like stakeholder meetings kind of thing, where they'll ask like the EAC to come in,
Okay.
or members from another commission to come in and give input. So they haven't gotten those dates yet,
Okay.
but that is all part of it.
Yeah, I just, when I noticed the separate dates outside of the normal ones, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah,
if
that's
people were
their
supposed
work
to come to
session
them.
dates. You can come, but that's kind of like their work session date. And right now, it's just for them to get, like, their last one was literally to try to get a calendar together and start moving forward there. So they're kind of in the early stages, but then there'll be additional meetings going
And
forth.
just the one thing I would note, when we did have that initial, and I think they've had 2 meetings. So the initial meeting, we talked about the schedule, and just wanted to clarify, it's not going to be hard and set just because some meetings, say you bring in Park and Rec, and the Park and Rec meeting goes longer than one meeting, it bleeds into the second, the next meeting. They don't want to set a schedule that says on October, we're going to have Park and Rec, in November, we're going to have Ag Security. So it's going to be
Yeah.
a loose schedule. They're going to try to plan it out like in 3 months intervals so that they don't feel that they have to cut people short if there's a hot topic or something that they need to, have further discussion on. They want to be able to continue that. And it's a second meeting, so getting people to come to both of the meetings, especially during the summer and during the holidays, is tough. So they were trying to kind of navigate both personal schedules as well as not restricting time limits on discussion. So just when they do get that schedule together, it will be a floating schedule. They'll have a sequence they're going to go to, and it just may not be, they may not hit the date. It may be another month before you get to a certain topic. So it's just going to be an ongoing
Okay,
floating thing. So.
that is good to know. It makes sense. So I appreciate the clarity. Because I've been going through the 1991 comprehensive plan, and there's a lot of things in there. But one thing I did see in there, and I just, I know I can come to a planning meeting and say this too, but it had to do with, there's a lot about the, Ag Security Act and Ag Security areas, and it specifically says the township should support the commitment to farming expressed by these property owners and avoid any actions that would diminish their efforts. I thought one good thing in here they said was one simple method of recognition would be the placement of signs along the roads entering an ag security area that would help raise the public awareness of their existence.
Hmm.
This was in 1991, so I don't know if this is something we've thought about doing.
Preservation zone?
Because I think
Yeah, I
the more
didn't see it.
people understand how we are, these property owners are in ASA.
I think
It
that
promotes
those,
the awareness of land preservation.
yeah, those signs I think you're referring to are signs that once the farm is preserved.
Well, I just read what it says.
Yeah, but there's I've never seen a
Says
sign that says this is an ag security area.
Right,
Once
but we
it's-
could create those
Yeah,
and
once
make
it's-
awareness of our ag security area so people understand these people specifically
We
are
could,
trying to save their land for agriculture. They
Yeah.
should be recognized.
yeah, once it's preserved, it gets a sign from the township and from the county.
Okay, but
Yep.
that's not what I'm talking about.
I understand that.
Okay, that's a good suggestion.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Hello, Andrea Fox, 2968 Valley View Drive in Doylestown. Good evening, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. My name is Andrea. I'm here with my husband Seth and our 2 daughters, and we are residents of a private road in the township that serves 9 homes, and it's the only access point. So I'm here today to request guidance on 2 issues. The first being just the legal status and the ownership of the road, which remains unclear at this point, despite reviewing multiple years of deeds, reviewing the original subdivision plan of the land, and some further research that we've conducted with the Bucks County Planning Commission. So that's issue 1. Issue 2 is just a general growing safety concern due to the road's deteriorating condition. It's really driven by ongoing drainage problems. So at the present moment, there is no homeowners association. There is no documented maintenance responsibility of this road. And the condition of the road continues to raise concerns just about the overall integrity, providing reliable access, and especially to emergency services. So our goal is really just to first and foremost, clarify the road status with documentation, and understand what our options are, what's available to address these current safety conditions. So thank you for the time. And before I sit, I would love to just ask for some guidance on some next steps that we can kind of take to better understand what those options are for those two issues.
Yeah, and your email was very clear, so that's great, because that's the way to be able to get you that information.
So I guess you're all looking at me.
And we've been we've been pulling those 19.
That's fine. So
But
I did a little research,
Yes.
similar to probably what you found. The original, it's the Horger subdivision, which was a gentleman named Adam Horger who originally owned the property and subdivided it. The original subdivision was done through the county, not necessarily through the township. So there is no, it's probably prior
it's in
before the town.
1953.
Yeah, before the township was really involved in subdivisions that didn't include dedicated improvements, because it really, and then your lot was the actual where your house is located was something as part of a Volpe subdivision. And that does clearly show the Valley View Drive as a private road. So it is referenced on your subdivision plan as a private road. It says Valley View in parentheses, private road. So I can give you a copy of that.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah, because I have some copies of things as well.
So that, yeah, and again, that
different.
Right. So the original subdivision plan created a 50-foot strip that gave your lot access. Well, not your lot, but the lot before your lot was created. Your lot was a larger parcel. It was subdivided into two lots in the 70s, I think 71. So they split that. You have the one that fronts out. I think it's Lavender Acres. Is that the one? There's a driveway that comes out onto 202, and then your lot obviously in the back. You were granted access to Valley View Drive on that plan, and that is the one I'm referencing. It does say private road to it. So the townships, and I think you've already found that the townships' own road map calls it a private road. The state's list of township roads, which is basically what we compile every year to get liquid fuel funding to do maintenance, does not list it as a township road. So again, it defaults back to a private road. So I think if, there was in at least my file review, and I don't know if the township found anything different, but there was no offer for dedication. It had always been developed as a private road. It doesn't really meet township standards, both alignment wise as well as construction wise. I don't think it's gravel. It's probably ballast with screenings, it looks like now. So I don't think it was ever intended to be a dedicated road. It wasn't, there aren't improvements that the township would have been maintaining over the years. Obviously, we tend to pave all of our roads. So it clearly has been a private road since the inception, at least of your lot. I did some research. I just picked one of the lots in Valley View. I went back through all of their deeds, and there were deed restrictions relative to the original access from Mr. Horger to the lot owner. So he granted access, which was also for you because of that strip, because you were part of that subdivision, for the use and access to 202. So there is some deed restrictions that talk about it being a private lane. He appears to have retained ownership of it. There was no reference of him transferring it to anybody. So imagine his.
So that lies the problem.
Well, I mean, he obviously has errors. I didn't get into all of that. I would probably suggest you go look at your title report. I presume you had title insurance when you bought your house.
Nothing in there.
Dan, how long?
How long?
Go back 21 years?
Yeah, it's from the 50s.
It's from the 50s.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what they probably should do, if the road hasn't been conveyed to anybody, is they probably should bring an action to quiet title. Because if it's been 21 years, and they've been using the road, it's been open, hostile, notorious possession, and just quiet title, and you're right, it's probably gone to some heirs that live in Iowa or something. But the way to clean the title and get possession, for them to get possession of the road, is to bring an action to quiet title.
Right. And again, so that's the status I found. It had never been transferred out of Mr. Horger's ownership. So that would be where it would would stay until
Yep.
you did the title, the quiet title. And then, again, as far as what other improvements can be done, I don't, we have multiple roads in the township, Dogwood, private lane, so there are
Branch lane.
branches, the east and west mountaintop, that are those older development roads that were never meant to be township roads. In fact, some of them are quite proud of the fact that they're private lanes. So they don't have, they're not built to the township standards. You mentioned drainage issues. There's clearly, I think you just have 2 drainage swales that are probably created because the road has been built up over the years. So there are some storm sewer improvements closer to 202 that take your water and get it, into the storm sewer system on 202. But, you don't have detention basins. You don't have other facilities like that. So really the maintenance is probably, and as I noticed that one of our hard members is a resident up there. So we may want to talk to Toby.
What Dana said, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Toby may be able to give a little bit of insight of what the history, because I think he's been there for a number of years. It just maybe there's an understanding between the property owners of, they all, put money in. I don't know what
And that's how it's worked. I'm air quoting that because it hasn't worked. And it's been 75 years since this road was established. And there's a lot of great things about having a private road. But when the neighbors are not equally contributing or willing to address a road that is shared for your home access, for your trash, for your Amazon deliveries, it needs to be reassessed because right now it's deteriorating and it's posing a safety
So you're
concern and hazard.
So you're suggesting the township should take ownership of it and improve it?
I'm not suggesting, I'm just looking for guidance as to how do we make it better and potentially just modernize how we're looking at this private road. I'm not suggesting anything.
No, and again, I'm trying to understand your perspective, because again, these are private roads. It's like a private driveway. If you and your neighbor had a driveway and you had a dispute with your neighbor, the township isn't really involved in those private type of things because you have multiple residents. Yes, of course, there's a,
And that's the problem because I don't know, where is the document to say that all 9 of us share the responsibility? I would love that because then I can use that with my neighbor to say, yes, can we please figure this out together? That's where I would love to be.
So
I'm
did you
having a
go?
hard time getting there.
Did you go back through all the deeds, or
All
did
of
you?
the deeds at the record of deeds.
No, not just your deeds, but
all
all
of
of
the
the properties.
neighbors,
Did you see
including-
the listing on some of them that talked about the right of way, the 50-foot strip, and that stuff? And there were actual restrictions from the subdivision that were included, at least in Toby's. Because I just did one property and it was Toby's just because he was the closest.
Just a quick
Just 'cause we
question. And is there ever a pathway for a private road to become a township road?
Yes.
And what does that pathway look like? It
In-
sounds like there's
to-
no HOA, there's no funds that are allocated for this. It sounds like should they need improvements, they'd probably, as a handful of residents in one road, would have to fork up tens of thousands of dollars a piece to probably bring it up to some sort of acceptable standard. So I think what she's really trying to get at is
I think, but you're that's exactly.
But
what,
I think
that's the
that's
the path.
the thing is that
could
they
bring
have
it
to make
up
it.
to township standard, and then the township could accept it. Because just because we've had these discussions with Durham Village every couple of years, we had it with a couple of the other private lanes, that a lot of those properties probably were purchased understanding that they were private lanes and you weren't getting a public road. You didn't have curbs and sidewalks and those things. So, those prices when they were purchased may have been reflected relative to what improvements that they had. So I think that the historic opinion of the board had been, they bought a property with a private road. It shouldn't be the township residents as a whole responsibility to upgrade their road and bring it to current township standards so we can continue to maintain it. Because if it hasn't been maintained, which it sounds as if it hasn't, that means there's even more work to be done to bring it up to a township standard. Again, I drove it today. It's screenings and ballast. So you'd probably have to remove the majority of that and completely rebuild the road. So, I mean, it's not an inexpensive, it just throws some blacktop on the top. If you want it to be a township road and you want the township to put it into their road program where they're paving that every couple of years.
right.
you're going to have to do a significant amount of work. You'll have to do some drainage work. And quite frankly, you probably have to do some approach work because the slope coming off of 202 does not meet your current township standard. So,
Is there a
You
grant
also have to
program?
condemn the road.
and you'd have to condemn the road, yes.
Yeah.
Is there a grant program or anything that is available typically to private citizens for private drives that are looking towards dedication to the township? that you're
I
aware of?
have never
I've
seen
never
a,
seen
a,
one,
a program.
honestly.
I just can't imagine, just from what I've seen on our road bids, I mean, and that's just resurfacing roads. I mean, I don't know how long this road is, but, I mean, I just can't even fathom that a group of a handful of neighbors would be able to even handle that burden.
Again, I think that's
Right.
part of the genesis of all of this was those lots were developed in that sense that this was a private community. You go, a couple hundred feet north on 202, there's Paprika Drive, which is a township road, which is paved, which has been maintained over the years by the township. So it is almost an identical cul-de-sac, kind of same shape. It's just built
Built to
to
standard.
township standards
Who pays
and
for snow plowing now?
Her neighbor.
The
We-
guy at the
we-
bottom of the
yeah, we
hill
talked on
does it
Sunday.
out of his own will.
Eric?
And one day
ELA.
that will not exist anymore, and that's what I'm here for, is how do we make this better so that when my children have to deal with this, they're not dealing with this. That they have something safe and reliable
the
is what I'm here for.
closest I think we've had in the last couple of years is with Mountaintop, where we've had a couple of those lots that came in. We have really strongly encouraged as part of their improvement that they work out easement agreements so that they at least have the right to get to the entrance. But that was a private interaction between the property owners to make sure that they came up with something to, have some maintenance reliance that everyone would buck up for. But it's never going to be perfect. I mean, that's the other problem with common driveway easements is, it's just between two people. There's no.
We don't do that anymore.
And what
We
we
don't do
find,
that, right.
and
Stop
even
doing it
on
because
some
of
of
the
our
problems.
private roads, we find, just as I think you're coming with, is that the residents on the road disagree with one another on what they want to see. Like,
And so,
there are ones that they like just the gravel type road. Like
not-
that's what they want.
Yeah, but not all the roads. The roads that Dan and I mentioned were gravel roads, but across from me, there's a neighborhood with 550 homes.
Yeah, it's
And
private.
it's private road,
And that is, yeah.
it's paved, but there's no curbs there. There's very little storm
And
water.
and
There's
and
no
to be honest
access
with you,
for
those
fire
roads
trucks.
weren't built to township standard either. So
Yeah.
that there are
So it's going to be private forever.
right. Yeah.
So
is all of our road improvements paid for by liquid fuel?
no,
So
The-
theoretically, then
Actually,
a lot,
pretty
a
much.
lot of it is,
Yes.
but not all. of it.
No, yeah, it is.
Really?
Yes.
Because sometimes liquid fuels are low.
They're
During
getting lower.
COVID, during
And,
COVID.
and whether you get them in time, but yeah, I mean the
But yeah,
you
I mean,
usually
we-
budget
Yeah.
to
Our
what you're
road
going to get.
program, your road bid this year is coming straight out of your liquid fuels.
But for a while, with the event of electric cars and with nobody driving during COVID, there was very, very little liquid fuel
Oh,
money coming
cool.
through.
Yeah,
Because nobody, what's that?
we have a public hearing scheduled for 7:30 and it's legal and we
Oh,
have to
okay.
do it.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Okay.
So-
I'm sorry, I didn't look at the time on that. I knew that we had a hearing.
What I can give you are the copies of the plans that we have on file, which I think you said you saw one of them. I'll give you your subdivision plan as well as the deeds that I have that reference the 50-foot right of way. I'm just going to suggest if you're going to go back to deeds, go all the way back to the original sell from
I
the
have
developer.
the first house in 53, so I think
Right.
I have the first one.
But get them all because as deeds are written, they like the second deed from the first buyer to the second buyer, sometimes they erase stuff, but they reference it back to the first deed. So you have to go all the way back to that first deed to see what the restrictions were and what the things that were granted. Because that for lot 5, which is your neighbor on the north side, all of those conditions of approval are in that first deed, but they're not followed through. They referenced the follow through, but they don't actually include it. So,
Okay,
but I'll give you copies of what I
okay,
can.
thank you.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
have something, but I know you have an issue because there's just heard. I have a question, just a quick question. When can I don't want to wait a month to talk about something. But when
After
can I
we
be-
do this hearing, which will take like
It'll
2
take-
minutes.
It'll take,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
It's a
I'm
good
sorry.
thing.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I didn't want
yeah.
to, I didn't want to.
Yeah, no,
waste your
it's fine.
time. Okay.
No, wait,
Perfectly
please,
fine.
so you can share. Okay, what happened to it? Okay.
Number
I am
6.
going to open a public hearing for the consideration of adopting ordinance 2026-02, an ordinance affirming the creation of an advisory recreation board, increasing the number of members to 9, establishing the term of new and reappointed members, and designating responsibilities of the board. And I'm opening this hearing now.
Okay.
We advertised it, and
Questions, comments from the
Questions.
public or the board or?
Question, recreation board as opposed to a parks and recreation board? I would have thought that parks in there too, no?
Well, the
Okay.
specific statute calls it a recreation board.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Buckingham Township, Bucks County, PA, Pennsylvania, an ordinance affirming the creation of an advisory recreation board, increasing the number of members to 9, establishing the term, new reappointed members, and designating responsibilities of the board. And I can read through the whole thing, but I think someone can request me to do that, or we can just, questions or comments.
I'll just give a super quick comment. When we had initially reached out to the public for interest in this board, we weren't really sure what to get. And the turnout and the interest that has come to the meetings and the subsequent meetings and the following interviews has been really refreshing. It really has. And so I'm very thankful to the community and all of my neighbors for continuing to show up and put forth their time to help make our parks and rec better and to continue to build it. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that has taken the time to volunteer to show up, to offer their thoughts and their time on an ongoing basis. So I just want to thank you, because that's why we're ultimately doing this, to increase it from 7 to 9, is because we had such great interest. So I just want to thank everybody.
Yes, and to build on that, John and I were at the last meeting, the last work session, and we had quite a turnout. Interesting people, interested in participating. And that's why we said, let's make it bigger. So that's what we're
Agreed.
doing. Any other comments or questions? So then I can close the hearing and we can.
Close the hearing.
Vote.
Somebody can move it. Vote
Okay.
the ordinance.
All right, I'm gonna close the public hearing, and I am gonna move that we adopt ordinance number 2026-02.
I will second that.
Okay. Questions, comments? I think we heard them. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Good. So see, we got to number 6. Now you can jump
Gina.
back to
Well, I
public
think there was
comment.
a gentleman that was waiting before me.
Okay.
My name is Michael Feeney. I live on Black Falls Road in the township. You had said that nobody in the last 5 years has applied to the agricultural security district.
No,
I think
through our committee.
No, I think the original question, as I understood it, was whether people had applied to join the board.
No.
No.
No? Okay. Then I stand corrected.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah, nobody has anybody that has gone in to put their land in open space or agricultural preservation has already been in ag security, so they didn't have to come before us.
well, 2 years ago, I put some properties in and I got a letter back saying that I was in the district, so I don't know what to tell you.
Saying what?
I applied for it 2 years ago. You said nobody has done anything in 5 years. I'll go get the letter if you want, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll have to look for it, but I mean, was it something where you're already, your nursery is not in ag security?
Right, correct.
Okay.
And I applied for the properties to be in, and I guess there's it's not strange, but I guess you don't hear anything, and then over a period of time you get it. Is that kind of correct?
Well, it comes from the county.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
what I'm saying
yeah.
is there's no hearing, there's no nothing.
No, we have a
And
meeting.
over a period
If
of
there's an
time-
application,
Right.
we have a meeting, and Scott Yurkus is on the board, some other people, we all get together, we say, yep, they deserve to be in ag security.
Okay.
It's one of the steps before you preserve your property. So, but yeah, you can apply to it through the county if you just want to be in ag security, but
Well,
You know,
I thought
you get, we'll look, but I never saw them. Mike, you're my neighbor. I would
Yeah,
have,
I know.
I would have seen.
I think Lori sent it to me and it listed all
Okay.
the properties and said you're in. I won't tell you why.
Okay.
Yeah, did you put in an application?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I got a response in about 6 or 7 months. Nobody called me, there was no hearing. That's how it explained to me that you're not gonna hear from us. You're probably gonna get it unless there's something really strange or different.
Yeah, it probably,
And that's how it operates.
it probably bypassed us because it wasn't going in as an agricultural preservation project.
No, it was not.
Right.
But the letter came from the township.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Gina.
Thank you, hi.
And just take that off the thing so that you
Or
don't.
tip it down here.
I'll take it.
That's a problem.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
there you
think
go.
like this,
Yeah.
just like I'm at school with the kids. Something came to our attention this week, and I wanted to see if the supervisor would like at least consider thinking about an adjustment to a zoning ordinance. We live on, I live at 4234 Biddeford Circle in Doylestown, off of Carversville Road. We're an old neighborhood, I think it was built in the early 70s. No sidewalks, no lights. Well, we have somebody in the area that is a paving company that tends to park in the apron of our property.
We
Robert
did, we got a letter from your neighbors.
Oh, okay, so you're aware what's
Correct.
what's going on.
And then we also
Yeah.
have an issue going on off of,
Dalton Glen.
in Don Glen, off of East Long Lane with the same issue with tractor trailers.
Yeah, and my concern is that when I look up the ordinance for our side counties, Doylestown Township, and New Hope, they're pretty specific about large commercial. I'm not talking about landscaping, I'm not talking about a painter, large commercial vehicles parking on residential roads. They can't park these vehicles on their property because
It's too
the
big.
township has deemed them unsightful. So they come to my neighborhood and park them in front of my home.
But do they live in your
And they don't-
neighborhood?
But
where are
They
they?
do not live in my neighborhood and they're not working in my neighborhood. And the vehicle this weekend was
They do
over
not-
21 feet long.
Oh, that's the guy.
It was a
Oh, they have some
huge
coverage.
dump
That's
truck
the guy that lives.
with a commercial paving equipment on it. And it's a loophole. I'm sure it's a loophole. But again, no sidewalks. It's parked overnight. If you want to go for a walk in our neighborhood, part of what we love about our neighborhood is that you can walk even if it's in the evening. Or if you want to go during the day with we have a lot of little kids in our neighborhood now that want to ride their bikes. There's no sidewalks to ride your bike on. So if they ride the bike and now there's commercial vehicles there, they have to go into the middle of the road to go around a vehicle to drive safely. I just think it's a loophole. It needs to be adjusted if possible. That's all I'm asking.
So.
Well,
I-
I'm not sure if it's a loophole. I
think it's
don't
a
know
loophole.
what type of trucks are these.
It's a commercial paving vehicle. Like they do roads, they do schools, they own property in
Like, is this like a
Lansdale.
Dump truck type?
It's a huge dump truck. The police came out this weekend when we talked about it being parked there because we were told, well, listen, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
My husband saw it parked there. He approached the gentleman is very frustrated, I'm sure. I'm not trying to judge anybody trying to make a living. He's frustrated with some of the problems he's had already. I think that because my husband's talked to him a couple times, he thinks that all the complaints are coming from us to begin with. But I know there's other neighbors in the area, and the response was, the police told me to park here. So I called the police, and the police came out. And they said legally, there is no zoning ordinance that restricts commercial vehicles over 20 feet with real commercial. Again, not landscapers, not painters. I have a picture of it. It's gigantic. And it doesn't restrict them from parking there. They can park there whenever they want. They can go to any residence. They can go to
Well,
any development
okay,
park.
Hold on, so you can get some response.
Sure, absolutely.
The police advise you correctly. If the township were to pass an ordinance, and it wouldn't necessarily be a zoning ordinance, because there is already in the zoning ordinance restrictions on commercial vehicles on someone's property.
Right,
But if it's in the roadway,
right.
then you're under PennDOT regulations, and you actually have to do a traffic study. We were through this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
basically
but
says
they
it's
have
a
to.
dangerous proposition, and so you have to have an engineer do a traffic study, say it's dangerous, say why it's dangerous.
But this is for PennDOT Road,
Huh?
it's a township road.
I
No,
understand that.
But we had signs changed in our neighborhood to change our curving to make sure things stopped. Nobody came out and did a survey for that. Nobody came out and did a survey for safety to make our road now with four-way stop signs. So why would that?
I suspect they
Not
did.
four-way, not
What?
four-way, not four-way stop sign, a stop sign at like the end of, and if they did, we just didn't get notified of it.
Well, you can't put a stop sign up on any road without first doing a study.
Well, how would we find out when that was done? That study was done?
So wait a second, let's
We're
not mix
getting
up,
off
let's not
topic.
mix up the stop sign with the
Absolutely.
truck.
Carversville.
Because that's the issue, yours is the truck is the issue right this second.
100%, and it's
Right.
not even that that it parks,
Unless you're
it's that
replacing
it
it.
parks overnight. I wouldn't even care if it said, if you're doing work in the neighborhood, you park during working hours, but it's parking from, and it doesn't do it a lot, but I learned with another issue I had when I came to talk about the lights.
Oh,
And you
you
wait so long, and then it kind of loses its impact, and I don't wanna wait that long and lose
So-
its impact.
I spent about probably, I don't know, 30 or 45 minutes talking with your neighbor this morning on his drive this morning. And one of the things that I'm just curious of, maybe Craig can enlighten me on, is he mentioned, just like you did, that there are neighboring townships that do have ordinances in place or rules in place that, and I haven't seen them. I asked Vincent to send me them in an email just so I could look at what they said.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he would. So, but how, I hear you guys saying we need to do road studies and all of this kind of stuff, and it's very specific to certain areas. But if that's the case, how have other municipalities done something similar?
Happy to answer that. Other municipalities often will just adopt the ordinance illegally, and then they try and enforce it. And I can tell you, I've done this. Most lawyers will go in and say, when you give them a ticket or do something, say, not legally adopted, you can't enforce it. Now, maybe you get by with that for a period of time. But if someone challenges it and you don't follow the regulations and the rules, you're not gonna be able to enforce it. And we've had this experience before with other incidents.
We've had it with
Police.
speed signs.
Yeah, in a township where the police refused to enforce it because they knew it wasn't enforceable.
So
I have a question. If you can just explain the difference between, I understand if PennDOT owns a road, but I know we're not a PennDOT road, we're a township road.
correct.
So the township still has no, like the township is telling
we-
me
we
as a
have to-
homeowner, if I was a homeowner and I parked my big commercial vehicle on my property, the township says, hey, listen, you can park it there, but you have to put it behind something. You have to make it look nice, so your property isn't offensive. That's what a layman's term would look at that law and say. So that's fine, and that's great. But if you don't have that, go park it in another neighborhood in front of a house that doesn't even belong to you, where you're doing no work. And basically, don't worry about those people, because they pay their taxes. I've been here for over 30 years, paying my taxes. I never had any issues. Last 6 months, I've been here twice. I mean, it's just very unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, and you're right.
And if you
But
have to do
even
a
though-
safety study, who pays for that and how's that get
The
done?
township does it.
Okay,
And even though it is a township road, it's still governed by PennDOT law and regulations. the
Okay.
vehicle code. So there are specific provisions in PennDOT regulations, vehicle
And so we
codes
have
with
to
this
do
kind of
the
incident.
provisions.
Yeah,
it's-
It's crazy.
It's
because to me, it
Just all
sounds
by
like,
state
if this
law.
is what you're telling me, that means that this same vehicle, if wasn't parking in my neighborhood, could go over to Doylestown Hunt and find the same spot to park. Or they can go over to Doylestown Oaks and do the same thing. I
Unless,
mean, that seems insane to me.
unless a traffic study has been done or an engineering study has been done to sit there and say that it's dangerous for that truck to park because of sight lines, access,
Road
various
width,
stuff.
yeah.
Garbage pickup.
Now,
Garbage
also, when you talk to
Doesn't make sense.
the police, we understand. Doesn't make sense. But when you talk to the police officer, was he able to speak to the owner of the vehicle too, or anything like
Oh, yeah.
that? Okay.
You got the same response my husband got. The police told me I could park here. The judge was in court. It's not, I was told by the judge that I can't park in my driveway, but I can park across the street.
Wait, wait, wait.
Wait,
Wait,
told by a
what
judge.
Whatever judge you would have the account where he said, he told my husband, and the police officer told me, he had just been
Well,
in
so-
court,
Zoning
and court was
ordinance,
told him that that he can't park in his driveway. They
the
can
zoning
park
ordinance would
wherever.
apply in his driveway.
What?
The zoning ordinance would apply in his driveway, and the zoning ordinance does prohibit more than one
For
commercial
commercial
vehicle being
vehicles.
kept in a driveway. It doesn't apply on the streets.
Right, and I understand what you're saying, but I think if you probably polled everybody in this room, they say, how in the hell does
Yeah,
that make sense?
doesn't make
Yeah.
any
It
sense.
doesn't
That
make
you
sense.
can,
I'm not
that
sitting there
you
telling you
can't
it
do
makes sense.
something for the township residents, they're
Well,
paying
what
the
would be the-
taxes,
We have
to
to,
protect the
We can
beauty
do
of
a
their
traffic
development.
study.
yeah,
and-
we have to do a blanket.
Yeah,
a
I,
broad
I,
blanket.
I'm not trying to get angry, I'm just saying it's.
No, but it's gonna happen.
but I think state laws govern roads,
Gotcha.
regardless whether it's a state road or a township road.
Okay.
So the way we have to govern our roads,
Right.
we need to follow the state regulations,
Perfect.
whether we
So
like
we'll
them
have to
or not.
do
So
that.
can we do
But
that?
we control
Can we
our
get a state
zoning, so
study?
why don't we?
It's not.
It's not a
It's
zoning.
not
It's not zoning.
zoning.
No, you said zoning.
No,
It's
no.
traffic
What
study.
On
happened?
the property.
It's a
On the
traffic
property.
study.
I understand.
But out on the street is not.
I understand.
It's a
Okay.
traffic
Right.
study.
Why,
It's-
why don't we look at our zoning to see if there's a different way of addressing this so that if a driveway is beyond a certain length, more people or more trucks can park, right? Like if we're trying,
We got a ton of complaints about that, but go ahead, I'm
The
sorry.
traffic study is site specific. So traffic, you paid for the traffic study, and the guy moves his truck to the next block.
Right.
Now what?
Correct. That's the problem.
And that's
Exactly
what
right.
That
what happened with Dalton.
That's the
What
problem.
happened with Dalton Glen is we said that we're gonna do a traffic study. We're gonna take care of this if he keeps parking his truck there. And what he did was when the drugstore closed right at the shopping center across from the court,
Right, Abe?
he moved his truck. Now he parks his truck up at Rite. You'll see a big white truck parked up at Rite Aid all the time.
and now we're getting complaints.
And now we're getting complaints about that because that's Fireside.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
somehow it has to.
From parking overnight, is there any zone that you just can't park overnight?
That's my thing, you wanna tell them they can park during the day, let them park,
No, they shouldn't be parking.
they should be parking at
He
all.
doesn't
But
live.
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
find
he doesn't
some reason.
live on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
street. We've had problems with him before. The county's having a problem with him. He was putting dirt from his excavation stuff on the township spray field.
Oh, it's
And so
him.
what happened was the township, although the problem is the
Oh
township.
yeah, we are having problems.
and the
We're having
problem
our
is,
own issues.
Even though it's
Oh, I know that.
even though it's a township spray field,
Mm-hmm.
that whole section there, the district court and the spray field is owned by the county. Okay? So we had to get the county to go deal with him.
Well, no, we're dealing
We're
with
dealing
him
with
too.
also, but we had to
Yeah.
co-deal with him with the county, which is another layer involved. So.
And
Yes.
the thing is, it might not happen all the time, but all it has to do is happen once. And all you have to do is have one child
Yeah.
outside, go around that thing.
Well,
And now
So we
you've
should
changed
take, we would take
families'
the
lives
approach we
in a
took at
neighborhood
Dalton
where
Glen.
But then the
nobody lives.
garbage trucks
You
can't
can
get
do.
in, fire trucks
He
can't get
keeps.
in.
Yeah,
Right.
he's
Yeah.
changing.
And the other question I have is, if this is legal, then what is legal? I know he can't block mailboxes. I know he can't block driveways, but like, and unfortunately for us, our property is like pie shape. We're wide in the front, narrow in the back. So we have maybe a little bit more room in front of our property than some of our neighbors might have.
And is
But
he
then
out?
can he
Is,
park across from the driveway across from me? Like, I don't understand the rules.
well, I think
There
at
are
one
rules.
point he had parked in another area and he was blocking the site distance, and they were able to have him move.
Well, 2 years ago, he was parking in front of all the mailboxes.
I
now
don't
he
know
was
that
taking all
there's
these-
anything in the
yeah.
vehicle code about mailboxes.
Well, that's
But-
probably,
can't-
but I know
you
we
can't
have
get-
the-
you can't
Probably a
get mail.
postal-
We
it's
don't
probably
get mail for
federal.
3
It's a
days.
No, I-
it's
yeah.
a postal code.
There,
Postal.
there might be something federal, but
So,
Okay, so
I just don't know if it's,
Okay,
what the
so-
next option,
we
what
have
the
to,
next.
we have to have an overall.
We're gonna have
It's going
to.
to happen in every neighborhood.
he's he's the one who actually is PennDOT's going after him because he cut a driveway on our property.
Well, the county property. Our
Yeah, but
property.
we're leasing it
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we, yeah.
Yeah, he did an illegal opening onto Cartersville Road.
But
and
we
built a
haven't
road
brought
on
him in front of
Township
the
County
judge.
grounds.
Yeah, I mean, part of what he said to the police was, one, my driveway's not long enough, which is a very long driveway, and two, that he's not allowed to park there.
Yeah, he's got a big house. He can park.
Yeah.
Well, he can't park legally park.
A traffic study.
He needs a
I
yard.
think
You
I
have
don't
to
know
do
the
the traffic
context.
study.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
Craig
the
said
You have to do
you're
the
not gonna-
traffic
you're not
Can we
gonna-
do an
It's
overlay?
more than one.
Can we do some kind of
Yeah,
overlay?
you're gonna have to do a study
People
for
will go
the whole area.
crazy.
Now, whether you could do a
Everyone
massive
will
study
be
that sits
developed.
there and says any
Go
road that's.
crazy.
Maybe we could
narrower
get-
That's why
than
we
this-
restrict
Maybe
to
we
length
could
of driveway.
do-
If driveway
I mean,
is beyond, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna
two
try
feet.
it.
Let me, I,
We're thinking of something.
I know you are.
We're-
I really do.
we're really
appreciate it.
trying.
I know, like,
It's not- we can have it this
We need a traffic study somehow, but the question is, yeah, if we get him off your road, is
I
he
mean,
just
what
gonna
I
go to
think
your
is-
neighbors and so
Well,
on and so
exactly,
on?
that's why
Yeah.
it's not really, that's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
You know,
This is the advantage of private roads.
That's his business.
They can actually tell them, no, they can't park there. So,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
Okay, Gina, we have to do. We
no,
have to.
no, if you guys, if somebody just can get back and give me an idea, I mean,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need
at
to.
some point, or tell me to come back next month and talk more, I don't know.
Yeah.
You have a meeting to go to and I.
No, we have to have, Craig has to look into some kind of an overlay and it's gotta include a lot of the
You
township.
have to have, and Dan, I don't know if you can
And
do this, when you sit there and say that roads of a certain width.
Yeah,
could do
that's what we were
criteria
trying to
based
think if we could
where
come up
the-
with some
yeah.
You know, and
criteria.
if there's between stop signs, it's only
The-
certain
the-
distance and all that kind of stuff.
Really,
Yeah.
really what you should be doing, and one of the criteria would be emergency access and, trash trucks and stuff. So you would need to do traffic, diagrams, truck turning diagrams to prohibit parking in certain places. But I think with,
Unfortunately, in our developments, we make them big
we
enough
do
so
that,
they
right.
can
And I think the problem will be, there will be a spot somewhere in your community that you probably can park that truck. So you're just gonna push the bubble in the carpet somewhere else.
You just
And-
buy a golf cart and
Yeah,
leave the
do it.
golf cart there and then.
You
What
gotta
can I
do
do?
it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
It's
can
just
have.
crazy because
golf
as a
carts on there.
neighborhood, we don't park our cars in our streets. We let each other know when we're having big events.
Yeah.
We try and do the neighborly thing, and to have somebody come in that isn't part of your neighborhood and allow them to devalue your property values. If you're trying to sell your house and that somebody pulls in, it doesn't seem like it's very, community or
Should we
neighborly
talk to
or any of that
should we
other
talk to
thing.
the police?
It's really
Fine.
unfortunate that, it's unfortunate that
There's
somebody
nothing-
would do
there's
it.
nothing to prohibit.
It's also
You know.
unfortunate that the township doesn't have anything that we can't just say you can't do it. I mean, it's over 20 feet. The truck is over 20
No
feet.
parking.
God forbid a kid should climb on top of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
It's very
we'll-
much of a danger.
We'll also talk to the police, because I don't know if the police know the history we have with him.
Well, yeah,
That's another issue.
Well, and there are certain things like, yeah, that sometimes we can find. So,
Yeah, no, if
Yeah.
the police will just go out and use the bullet pulpit, the guy will move the truck because the police are saying it's not a good idea that you park here, et cetera, et cetera. So, it depends.
I
whether
think
the culture-
niceties are out of the question right now with this person, unfortunately. We've been past the opportunity of a conversation.
Right.
And that's where we stand right now.
okay.
Okay.
Well, he may not have a conversation with you, but if an officer gathers all this and there's a
Well,
reason
like I
for-
said, the officer
reason
went there
for
and he
him
said
to-
he
an
was not
officer
very
to have a
pleasant to him.
conversation, he'll
Yeah.
have one with the officer.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, the officer who went over there, who was very nice to deal with, he said he was less than
Cooperative.
cooperative to have a conversation with him.
Right.
So it's a combination of a lot of different things right now.
Okay.
But I know you have a meeting to get to, so.
So is it still right? as-
No, he doesn't do it all the time, so that's the problem. It's just
I thought
when he
it was,
wants to.
I thought it was one, celebration after another with them. With the
Well,
lights. The
it was
lights.
on the aprons. But now that you got him to move off the aprons, he was continually parking on the aprons of the road.
No, I'm talking about
Just talking about the lights.
the lights.
Oh, sorry, I didn't. No, they're still there. They're just not as loud, but they're still every night. Like,
Well, Stephanie's sitting there and I'm the liaison to the EAC and we're starting an initiative called Dark Sky and we're partnering with Doylestown Township.
I would love
So
that
we're
because
trying to educate and I think we need to have you help us out there getting the word out.
all right, let me know.
Okay,
Because now my concern is, all right, it's behind me. So now I don't want to come in front of me, even if I have problems with behind. It's like any neighborhood, no, but anyway.
It's not just you, it's also the birds.
Yeah, oh, the birds, well, that's the whole thing, the bats, we
The
do not
bats.
see the bats that
Yeah.
we see at all.
Yeah, I just remember that you
They do
came
in
on
Vermont, there's like
She
a there's
said
pins
birds.
outside.
Yeah,
And New York
that two
State
lights
is
all the
actually
time.
I know. She said.
Okay,
okay,
All right.
thank you for your time. I'm sure we'll be in communication, I hope that I can find some kind of resolve and, on both issues, but I almost am more
That's okay.
concerned about the summer being, like graduation parties are coming up now. People are gonna have to park out front of their house, and just in case, nobody wants to do that, just in case.
Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
so anyway, I thank you
Okay.
for letting me speak my mind.
No,
I-
keep
I
coming.
express myself.
You could do like Lambertville and put chairs.
Keep coming, keep
Yeah, I might
coming.
have to put chairs and little horses out there. All right, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Jean.
Yep, okay. So where are we? That was public comment.
I have a meeting with
Any other
Traffic
public
jam.
comment on an item that is not on the agenda?
Remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm gonna make some comments. Arbor Day.
It sounds like
Up you-
Linda.
up.
Oh, did someone raise their hand? For public comment? Yeah,
It's on this topic, very quickly.
pull that microphone so it says like miles to my hand.
Identify myself.
Well, you
You
gotta
give
hear
your
the-
name to
Leonard
Lori.
Mariano, 5152 Barnett's Court. I'm listening to this, and I can't imagine that this is the only guy who has a big vehicle having problems parking. So is there any way the township can acquire a piece of industrial property, make parking available at a nominal fee so that these people can get off the street but have a place to put their large vehicles? Is there any?
That
Route to
he
that.
should have an equipment yard if he's in the equipment business.
He does have,
Yeah.
he's at a 4 acre place in Lansdale. That's
Why is that?
Yeah, so then he should be parking over there. So,
Okay, that was my only
Okay.
yeah.
suggestion.
Good
If there was
comment.
any way to do something like that.
All righty. All right, now I'm gonna make some announcements. Arbor Day, the 24th of April. We're gonna have a celebration here at the township and we're planting a dogwood this year. Unfortunately, last year we were able to give away little saplings, little baby trees, and they're not available this year, so we won't be able to do that, but we can certainly celebrate. National Prescription Drug Take Back Day, Saturday the 25th is coming Saturday, 10 to 2.
It says 1 o'clock on here, it's 1 PM.
It says 1 p.m.
Okay, but on the townships.
It changed. The time changed. It's one.
Yeah, what,
Okay, yeah, well, we'll change that.
what time is it?
It's at
It's at
1 PM. It's not in the evening anymore.
This says,
Arbor Day. You have it correct, but
Okay.
we'll have to address it on the website or whatever.
okay, all right, 1 p.m. Sounds good. That's Friday. National Prescription Take Back Day, 25th, okay. But know that there's a receptacle for drugs downstairs where the police department is. Any day, it's always open. Go in, drop your stuff in there. Do not put it in your toilet, your trash, or anywhere else. Put it in the drug take back, please, please, please. Okay, the concerts are scheduled and they're listed. They're gonna start June 18th.
June 18th.
Day in the Park, Hot Dog Day, June 25th, 11 to 2. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff going on.
I have a couple of announcements.
Okay, I am going to just, before you do,
Okay.
I want to just say that Mike already brought it up. Today was Administrative Professional Day, and we speak for the board. We want to thank our wonderful staff, our secretaries, our clerks, our department heads, and the person who manages all this wonderful staff, Dana Koza.
Thank you,
Thank
Dana.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And everybody had none such sandwiches.
Yes.
Did you have anything else?
No.
Maggie and I were just at PSATs this past weekend up until Maggie got back today. I got back yesterday. PSATs is the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors. So it's basically it was the conference, their annual conference they have in Hershey every year, and Doylestown was more specifically honored, but we worked with them. So we got an award for intergovernmental cooperation for working with them on their bike and hike trail initiative. So it's something that I hope that we have a lot more in-depth engagement with Doylestown in going forward. But we, along with Doylestown more specifically, got honored and got called out in front of thousands of people. So that was cool, and I'm sure Dana will find a fantastic place to hang that up in the office.
Yes, I will.
And then secondly, I just want to give a brief update. A few weeks ago, there was a court hearing on the McCardle land condemnation, and I just feel like there wasn't a whole lot of people there. There wasn't a whole lot of publicity around all of this. So I just want to give kind of a summary of what happened at this court hearing, as I feel that it's very important for everyone to know kind of what's going on. So I just want to take a moment to update the residents on the status of the most recent court proceedings related to the condemnation of the McCardle property, and just to share some context about how we arrived here. At the heart of this matter is a procedural requirement under Pennsylvania's agricultural security law. When a township submits land into the agricultural security area, there's a defined process that must be followed, including public notices and filings with the County Recorder of Deeds, County Planning Commission, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. In this case, the township didn't follow that process, and that failure had significant consequences both for Mr. McCardle and for Buckingham Township taxpayers.
Mike, this is an ongoing lawsuit, you know.
This is public. This is what happened in
Okay.
court. So I'm not gonna, and I haven't been brought into anything on exec session on this, so I'm not privy to anything.
But you are giving, opinions as to what the law is and should be. As John just said, it's ongoing litigation, so I'm not sure the board should be, doing that in
Commenting.
public.
So
You're gonna taint the case.
I'm just simply giving a summary of what happened in court. It was open court.
You've done, look, I mean, I can make the transcript available to anybody, that's fine. But what you're doing is suggesting, what the law is and what's applicable, and that's something that, the board can certainly speak to in private with respect to litigation, but it's really not something that, probably should be, it could prejudice the township's position in litigation.
Okay, again.
It will.
Again, I'm just simply reading through what happened in court.
But you're doing it at a public meeting, Mike.
Well, it was public court hearing. So I'm just gonna continue reading. Because the required process was not followed.
I need to note that this is one supervisor that is speaking, and he's not speaking for the township.
Sure. So, because the required process wasn't followed, Mr. McCardle's land was never added to the ag security area as far as the county, state, or state agricultural lands condemnation and approval board is concerned. Mr. McCardle wasn't properly advised by the township during this process of whether the property was in ag security.
Again, this is not
You would-
necessarily.
this was admitted to in court,
This-
so-
No, it wasn't. That's okay. What you're doing is risks the township. But, you want to put the township at risk.
You're putting the township at risk, Mike.
The opinion of McCardle.
It's been stated by Craig that this is apparently just my opinion, not what happened in court.
It doesn't matter. You should express your opinion on your website or to your friends, but you shouldn't be doing it in a public meeting.
Again, there's
This
nothing
is
in
going
here.
to, this is not only gonna hurt the township when it comes to this, it's gonna hurt the warehouse when we don't have the sufficient spray fields for the property up there. So you're double hurting the township.
So I'm sharing simply what happened at court. And if you feel, I don't know what else to say to you. So if I'm simply
Just stop
sharing.
putting the township at risk. It's your job to protect the township, not to harm the township.
So first, that's fine. I've shared my comments with the press. The press has my comments
Good.
is completely aware of exactly what is going on at court. And I'm disappointed in this board in that they are not willing to allow me to share what happened at an open court hearing.
Can the transcripts be placed on websites, or do we have to call and ask for them?
No, it's an ongoing litigation case, and you know, if we don't win it this time, we'll win it on appeal. So
You can go, I can't give you, because the court reporter actually gets paid for copies of the transcript, so I can't give, but you can go to the court and ask. They'll charge you, it's not cheap, but you can ask for a copy of the transcript.
Which is why we should share what happened in court.
Well,
it's not over yet, Mike. It's an ongoing case.
and what you're stating is not verbatim what happened in court, and there's a whole bunch of wrong things that you've already said, so I
So,
can't.
do you want me to share what Ms. Koza said in her testimony? And then I'll just go from there?
No, you don't, Mike. You can't share anything. It's a litigation case.
It's open court, John.
If
All
people
right.
are interested, they can go get the transcript. Or they can sit in the court. Or they can go to court.
Fantastic. I really encourage everyone to pay attention as to what's going on in this case. The township has not followed a state mandated process. And anyway.
Mike,
And then
Mike, Mike,
the
Mike.
last thing I just want to bring up is, I won't go into detail because this was shared in exec session. But I have asked, Mr. Smith here now 7 times in an email for, advice as to, what was, communicated to a party in a legal matter. And I've asked now 7 times, and starting, the first email was sent asking for this on March 22nd, all the way up through April 20th.
Why don't you read the March 23rd response I made to you, Mike? Where it says, Ed was made aware by a telephone conversation that the township would look to them going through the Act 537 process. This is to you.
Yeah.
I believe Gary told Greg Litzer the same. The settlement agreement specifically provides Bertucci will prepare and submit a planning module for the proposed sewage disposal system pursuant to the Township Act 537 plan. The submission shall provide for either disposal upon the property by means of lagoon and spray field system, connection to the Buckingham Township sewer system, or connection to the Bucks County water and sewer system. I'm sure they would prefer Bucks County water and sewer, and if the 537 analysis reaches a different result. I won't do the rest of it because you're right, it gets into some litigation issues, but you were responded to. And
Craig, it's not your job to tell the developer's lawyer how to submit a plan. He's a developer. He knows what he's doing. The lawyer has worked for Toll Brothers. The lawyers work for all the large development corporations. You probably grew up with the lawyer because he grew up in Newtown. So you probably see him on the street all the
we're
time.
both, yes.
Yeah, so
Craig
it's not
works for this board, and
he answered you.
If he'd answered me, how come the next 4 times I asked him when I said, "Did you convey what the board had requested that you convey," and him not listen to you based off of what was submitted?
Let me explain something which you don't know, Mike, okay? As John just said, Ed Murphy's been doing this for 50 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 50 years. Gary's been doing it for 40 years. Greg Litzer's been doing it for 35 years. We all know what an Act 537 analysis is, okay? You maybe don't, but we all do. They know what they have to do. So you're complaining
not our
already
job to tell
constantly
them.
about excess costs and legal fees. So if I'm educating you what a 537 plan is, it's the old adage. If I do it myself, it's one price. If I have to teach you how to do it, it's going to be a lot more.
I'm aware of the 537 plan.
Well, you weren't aware of what an EDU was until I told you about it in a 10-page email in February. And you told me, quote unquote, can you help me? Because I'm a newbie here, and explain this to him.
I did.
And did you explain to him, Craig?
I did.
Yeah.
You did.
There we go.
Very,
So,
very
good.
extensively.
And the email you just read
What
explained it
number is it?
also.
It's nothing.
It's under board comments.
It's under board
the board
comments. Yeah.
Can I make a comment?
It's under don't talk about litigation in public meetings.
I'll make a quick
Yeah,
comment.
Gary's our water and sewer engineer.
I'm sitting down with Greg Glitzer on Monday to go over the process. Greg reached out to me on Tuesday.
Great.
I reached back out to him today, said, let's set something up.
Fantastic.
And we're going through, and Greg has said numerous times, you know, we're looking at Bucks County, and I said, you have to prove to us that you can't handle it on Buckingham, which means soil testing,
Right.
which means the whole 9 yards.
And I've simply been asked, has that been done?
No.
And
That's
you
what
got
I've
an
been asking
email
him.
back that said he.
I did, okay.
You never got that email that Craig just read?
No, that wasn't my question that I was asking, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
That's
I
fine.
thought you were saying to Craig,
Okay.
did you talk to Ed Murphy or whatever?
Yeah, and we
I thought
did,
that's
and
what
we
that
told
email
Mike
said.
that we did, and, you know, Mike chose not to listen to it or whatever.
Okay.
Better to have
So
these
we got-
conversations in
I
public.
think we're done with board comment.
All righty, you have any comments?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go to number 3, and I'm gonna move that we approve payment number 1 to GS Developers for work completed in the Cold Spring Well number 4 radon and PFOS removal project electrical contract BT 2502 in the amount of $5,400.
You want to do these all at once?
Okay.
Yeah.
And payment request number 9 to GS Developers, on the Cold Spring Fieldstone Water Interconnect Contract, BT 24-02, in the amount of $218,249.30. Those two.
Okay, second.
Okay, questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Number C, I move that we approve payroll dated March 26th, 2026, and April 9th, 2026, and the bill list for the meeting of April 22nd, 2026,
Second.
in the amount of $1,026,342.06.
Still second.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, I move that we approve the draft supervisor minutes of the March 25th, 2026 work session and the March 25th, 2026 regular business meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, we have lots of departmental minutes, so I move that we consider accepting the Environmental Advisory Commission minutes from January 20th, February 18th, and March 18th, 2026. Water and Sewer Commission, November 12th, 2025. Building and Zoning, monthly stats, March 26th. Historic Commission, March 19th, 2026. And Safety Committee, March 26th, 2026.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did the public.
We did the public hearing. Number 7, I move that we approve the residential development agreement and cash escrow agreement between Buckingham Township, Sycamore Hollow Homes LLC, and Walter Larson and Sandra Larson for the Benargo tract. Township file.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Good job.
Okay.
Can I get to speak? I'm sorry, I didn't want that.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, let her just
Hang on.
make the motion and
I'll
then
make the
she'll say
motion.
questions or
Yeah.
comments.
SA 2008-01 and tax map parcel 06006-062, 06006-062-001, and 06002, 062-002. So that kind of
We
gives you
can
an
do that.
idea
We can
of how
pass it.
tax map parcels are cut
If they
out.
don't do that.
So I'll get a
we'll do it on
second.
6.
Second.
Okay?
Yeah, go ahead, pass it, we'll just.
Uh-huh.
Well,
we have to.
And give Lori.
They're here
you have-
too.
You got it.
Caroline Horsley, 3499 Durham Road. First of all, this is super exciting. I'm definitely coming back. So I'm on Durham Road, so I live next to the Palpatine Preserve on Holly Pond in Durham, and I'm right next to Sycamore Homes. And I've been watching the construction happen for the last 3 years. My best friends moved to Buckstown to Carversville in 1999. I've been coming here forever. I've lived at my property since 2014. My kids go to Buckingham Friends School. I've seen you there. You know, we're Quaker education. It's about stewards of the earth, taking care of the environment. I travel around the world for work. I always say Buckingham is the most beautiful place, and I'm so happy to live here. So I lived in an 1882 farmhouse that we bought. When we bought the land, we were next to our neighbor Joe. It was a 9-acre property and next to the preserve. So we felt super lucky because, you know, we're surrounded by all the green land, got the preserve behind us. So Joe, I guess, subdivided his property at some point, like 15 years ago. Into
In three
parcels.
lots.
Right,
Yeah.
and so he was trying to get us to buy all of it, when we we're getting my mom to buy it. But we wanted to like parcel it off. Rich at the time said, you don't wanna buy into this because the way it's subdivided, it's a total mess. If someone starts construction on one piece, you have to do construction on all three at the same time, you have to do driveways all at the same time, et cetera, et cetera. We just wanted to buy it so we didn't have anyone next to us, because we love having all of the trees and the wildlife, you know, we're like Animal Planet at our house. Which is great, we've got little kids, we run around there. So I spent a lot of time on the land, I was a lot of time at home. And so in the past, then actually Sean McCardle bought the land from Joe, and he started selling it. We talked to him about buying it, then a couple from Boston bought it, they sold it. It's like, we call it hot potato. I think they're on like the 6th iteration of people buying it. So
Yes.
since then, the driveway was dug up, but then they didn't get the permit for it, so they had to stop. Then they came in and all of the topsoil has been removed next to us, and we have these little mountains right next to where we are. And it's like at least a couple of feet deep. So now when I go out to my chicken coop, when I'm walking, after it rains, I can only describe the land as squishy. Because what's happened is we're on like the lower part of it. You know, it starts here and you got the dog or whatever in the land, then the house, then their land, and then us. So when it rains, I've noticed a difference. And because I've been walking that land for 12 years, from front to back, side to side, we walk the preserve, everything. I see that there's an issue. I've emailed, called, come to the township, talked to the engineer. I mean, it's like, this is not my first time coming here. So, the approval, the house, which is kind of like next to where I am, was like kind of a smaller house, but I don't know if you've seen the latest, you know, proposal or whatever that's listed online. Realtor always has like a different house every time there's a new person that buy it. But now it's a 5,400 square foot house with a giant deck, which speaks to your, you know, thing about impervious land, plus a pool. So I just don't see that this piece of land can support everything that is being sold without completely damaging my property, without making my property uninhabitable, without flood issues, without damaging the environment, without hurting the trees, everything. I know at some point they were told they had to plant 600 trees, which I thought was amazing, but we haven't seen a tree. Last week, this is what Aaron Walk told Aaron, whatever.
Sharp.
Number 5,
Sharp.
Aaron Sharp.
Sure.
So since then, when I talked with the watershed people, whatever, some people came out and like put hay down one day to stop the flooding. I guess that's the next thing. So I guess I'm trying to understand, as a neighbor, as a resident, what do I do? What do I have to look, you know, I never find anything out until there's a new construction crew next. So is someone going to come and build a 5,400 square foot house next to me and put a pool in with a giant deck, and then I have flooding issues with my foundation? What are there things in place to protect me as someone who lives there? When does the zoning actually expire? Because my understanding was that Joe received it, I think about 15 years ago. So does that go on forever, his permission?
The property was actually subdivided.
No, I know it's subdivided, I
Yeah.
understand that.
So in that sense, they're existing lots, and so yes, those aren't gonna change. But the zoning does apply.
Right.
I don't know whether they can build I don't know if they can build
Yeah, and
that thing on
I
there or
mean, I have
not.
it on my phone, all I have to do is like, I have to.
And I understand that. There is an approved plan. There are grading plans, temporary erosion sedimentation controls, which is where we are right now. Aaron did get started on the lot next to you. And then that's when he kind of had his troubles about a year ago. So, it has been in a temporary sediment basin, not even sediment base, but temporary sediment stage since then. This agenda item is for the new developer to take over what Aaron failed to do and to complete the work. So
And
as
3 people in front of him. Because Aaron was not the first one.
Aaron was the one who did the work or got started
He
on
was
the
the
work.
first one
No,
to
actually
actually.
not. There was
do
another
so.
contractor that put the driveway in.
Those were, I believe,
That was not Aaron's guys, that was someone before that.
okay.
I mean, I live there, I
Okay.
see these guys.
I was
And
under
see
the,
sign every
I-
day. There's
I-
a sign, so it's
I
like a different
recall
person.
Aaron saying that he
Yeah.
told his contractors to put the driveway in. So whether he lied to you or lied to me, there's a
Oh,
difference
I'm
of
not
opinion.
accusing anyone
No,
of
I'm just
lying
saying that
at all. That's what I spoke to Rich. Rich
Right.
told me, oh, they jumped the gun, they weren't supposed to do that.
Correct.
It was like 2 brothers contracting, but whatever.
And I understood that Aaron directed them to do that. So, but that's besides the point.
Okay.
And we're past Aaron.
Yeah.
So this new developer has taken over or will be taking over all of the required improvements. There is an approved plan. There are deed restrictions on how much impervious they can have on the lot. The building permits that you're speaking of, I haven't seen. There is an approved plan. That was what Aaron had suggested he was going to build. If there is a change, and quite frankly, that is one of the things I was going to mention, that the Sycamore Hollow folks have informally asked, and I wanted to talk to you during work session about revising the rotation of the house about the solar orientation. We've had this conversation a couple of times on this particular property. I got a plan last week, so they have a request for that. But that is the extent of what has been even considered as far as revised layout. They have not submitted, at least as far as I know, new building permits, revised lot grading. They haven't submitted a revised lot
So my
grading plan.
question would be, in some states, when you do construction, you need to remove the mounds of dirt after you do it.
Mhm.
And I've had these mountains next to me. for
And again,
years.
this is because of Aaron's failure to complete the work.
Right.
Conservation District, who was the reason why Bob and his group probably came out and threw that straw and seed down. They had come out because he's got an active permit with the county and the state to maintain the erosion control measures. And I think they were trying to allow him to get through his stuff so that he could continue building the basin and move on and build the house. I think when it became apparent that he wasn't going to finish the job,
Right.
Conservation District came out, issued their report, and as I understand it, Bob and his group had come out and taken care of some of that erosion issues or
I mean, I've
the
shown
seeding.
Lisa is the woman.
The
who
new
took
zoning
over,
officer,
right?
yes.
So Lisa came to my house and I walked her around and showed her also, because I understand all of this.
And you're in the
I'm not
midst, you're in the middle of
Came to the
a
house.
start,
Lisa.
stop.
Oh, Lisa.
Right.
So you're not in final construction. You're really at the initial stage where they strip the
Beginning.
topsoil
Which is
and
exactly why
stockpile.
I'm here, because if this is what I'm feeling now with just a couple of mounds and this much, then if, anyone's welcome to come to my house and see that, I'm really concerned about the
And-
next steps
and we've
of
talked-
what's happening.
I think I've explained to you, and I think you've seen the plans. There are stormwater management facilities, both underground and above ground, that
There's
are
nothing in place on
Oh,
that property.
correct,
right
because there's
now.
no,
They're-
there are
they're
no improvements yet.
Clearly, but it's been 2 years.
But
I'm not
it's, but
putting-
it keeps
right.
changing developers'
Right,
hands.
but meanwhile, I understand that.
I
So I'm
understand
just
what
trying
you're
to
saying too,
understand,
yeah.
Like, what, do I just kind of have to deal with it?
Unfortunately, the property owners have the ability to develop their property. We have escrows and development agreements in place to make sure that they follow those rules.
Right.
This is basically a transition from one developer to another. We are, and again, this is me speaking personally, I'm happy that someone has taken over the job so we can get past literally the first step. They have done one thing, and that's strip the topsoil. They're supposed to build the basin next, and then they're going to start building the house. So Aaron never got past step one.
Right.
He just, they ran into a dirt issue and he just was unable to get over that. So for whatever reason,
The
he,
next person will get over the dirt issues.
he's been made aware of it. You can
Same
ask
here.
him, he's here tonight. So
I just tried, I would really like to not, I just, it was so nice before. And now there's like this construction and different people.
and
doing it
I will
and
assure you
just-
that the plans are in place to address the stormwater runoff as much as the township and the state requirements allow. Obviously, we can't say no on, we have zoning ordinances that permit certain things. And Joe Benargo was permitted to subdivide his lot. Those certain improvements, including the basins, all that landscaping, the buffer plantings, and all of the steps are outlined on those plans will have to be done. And and part of this agreement that's being ratified tonight is the posting of escrow to ensure that it does get completed.
Right.
So
I realize I emailed you too.
So,
Sorry.
if it put your mind at rest at all, the folks that are taking over this project did, a project on a big farm that we preserved in big, larger parcels, and did 3 houses, including restoring the original farmhouse, and did a beautiful job, and they saw it through.
Right.
I mean, Benargo sold it to the next guy wasn't capable of getting it done.
Yeah.
And shoved it off to, was there somebody between him and Sharp? I don't know, doesn't
I
matter.
yeah.
But the only good thing about the mounds of dirt is that the topsoil doesn't leave your Buckingham. That's what the mounds of dirt are.
Okay, no, I understand that.
I mean, I know you know
They're
that,
just
so.
sitting there, but, okay, so that's fine. I guess I'll just keep coming and getting updates because it's morning long
You
here.
can-
And maybe
You can
could
talk to the people
the
that are
neighbors.
building the homes. They're in the back. But this is the next.
Hi.
Hi, neighbor.
Yeah.
This is
This
the other
is-
thing, is no one has ever been like,
But
hi,
This
I'm
is the-
building.
They don't,
Right,
this
this
just
is-
doesn't, I know, it doesn't
and we're
work like
talking about
that, does it?
neighbors and stuff. I don't have any neighbors.
this is
Like,
the
this is
step to
something-
move forward.
Yeah,
To get rid of, to put in the basin, get rid of the pile of topsoil, and to move forward from where it's at right now.
Right.
When it's done being developed, there has to be less stormwater leaving the property after development than prior to development. And also, there's supposed to be buffering. There's a lot of buffering on that property, and that's one of the reasons probably why Joe walked away from it, because he didn't want to do all that buffering.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I understand it was because his kids decided not to build their houses next to
that
him.
could be, yeah,
But
yeah,
not for
yeah,
any
that
reason
could
of
be,
not
yeah.
wanting to live next to
So-
your dad. but-
anyway.
And he still lives in Buckingham.
He's still a resident.
Yeah, he's
But,
he's on.
okay, so then I guess I would talk to you about placement of the many trees that are required.
I don't know.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
up to the
rate is.
the landscape consultant that we have, who she's the one that decides that and has laid it out.
The
So
landscape for the township.
Yes.
correct,
So we have a
Who's the
separate,
landscape consultant for the
Carol
township?
correct. Carol Manker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's in charge of buffering.
But now you sort of know
Thank you
your
for the
semi neighbors.
clarification and introduction.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Their work comes.
Okay. You
Their
got
work,
your
the
questions
work
answered?
comes well.
Hi,
Yeah.
Caroline. Hi.
Okay.
Okay, good. We're making.
All right. Take it
You
outside.
guys can go. You can go out in the next room down there if you want to have a.
Okay. Number 8. I
No.
move
We have to
that
vote.
we.
We have to vote on it.
It was
We have to vote.
Oh, a second.
Yeah,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, number 8. I move that we approve the deed of dedication of the ultimate right-of-way of Lower Mountain Road between George Dunn, Linda Naus, Dunn, and McIntyre Revocable Living Trust dated September 7th, 2001. Stephen F. McIntyre, or Kathleen M. McIntyre trustees, and the Township of Buckingham for the McIntyre Tract, SA 2020-01. Dan, just, what is it?
and this is the last stage of a subdivision that you approved a few years back. It was kind of one of those 2-stage subdivisions where they did it one year and then they came back and did the other. In order to complete all of the requirements to finalize everything, we needed to dedicate the right of way, and Craig's going to say something because.
Do we get both parties to sign because it was convoluted? They did? Great, wonderful, okay.
So this is the last piece that will
Hi, Colleen.
fully, in fact, affect the subdivision and allow everyone to, I guess, move on and have their
Okay,
lives.
good.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 9, I move that we agree to the developer's request for the extension to April 23rd, 2027. For the stormwater facility development contract covering William Scott Sinclair, trustee of William Scott Sinclair Deed and Trust, dated September 27th, 2018, Victoria Park, lot number 2, New Hope Road. part also was a preserved thing.
Yeah, I thought we talked about this a couple
Yep.
years ago. Yeah,
I
okay.
need a second.
Second.
Questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 10, I move that we agree to the developer's request for extension to May 24th, 2027 to complete the improvements set forth in the residential development contract
They can use that
covering
room.
Benton's Corner
Come use that.
subdivision, Township File SA 2013-03.
Second.
Questions or comments? Yeah?
What's being changed with it? Like, why are they asking for instruction?
They're not finished with everything they have to do. So it's just an extension
Just time.
for them to wrap things up.
I think they would like to get it done this year. I don't know if you've noticed, they've been doing a lot of the punch list things. The roads were paved last fall, so this is just an extension of time to get them some more time to finish.
Okay.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I move,
Aye.
yeah. I move that we approve the wastewater grinder pump maintenance agreement between Buckingham Township and Stephen Trachtenberg for 3615 Indian Spring Road, Township map parcel 06-006-056-002.
Second.
Okay. Questions, comments about this grinder pump? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 11. I move, this is good. I move that we adopt the Buckingham Township Climate Action Plan produced by Buckingham Township in partnership with Penn State's Local Climate Action Program, Local Governments of Sustainability, and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
Second.
Andrea Strout, former member of the EAC, has done so much on this. The first, and I don't have my notes, I was a piece that's too long. We passed the environmental.
At the energy transition
transition
plan was
plan.
the first one.
That was the first thing we worked on. Actually, Andrea worked on it. And we passed that, the previous board passed that. And then we got into this thing with Penn State on the climate action plan. And then when Andrea came to do a review of it right before she left on vacation, she was like, well, the Penn State group has come back and they've done revisions. And I mean, we're talking like, figures and all this other stuff. And we decided we're going to pass it. So we've passed it and we can begin focusing while they're out there revising little things here and there. So that's why it's on the agenda tonight, just to be moving it forward. And actually, Dana and I have been talking about really trying to put a committee together that would start working on the energy transition plan, because it's a little, I think it's more, it's easier to get out into the public and start to implement some of those things. So we just have to,
What does that mean, energy transition plan? What does that mean?
it's the first plan that Andrea and we worked on for, to
What
be
energy?
greener. But that's just, that's.
For
A lot of it's on,
Properties or for?
well, it's for
Properties?
Township
it's for everything. So one thing it is for township's property, buying renewable electricity. So the township has actually has already gone to 100% renewable energy for all the township properties and 50% renewable for our water and sewer properties. So we have done that so far, but that's part of it. And there are other things about energy audits and that kind of thing through that. So there are things that the government would do, or, the township does. Then there's also some things to help encourage others to do that. Are there, solar grant programs for both, the township and the community members. There's a thing about community education for electrical use of residents, and how renewables can play into that for our commercial property. So it's an extensive plan of ideas
Enforcing
and
that
different
on-
things like
on
that.
people, or this is just-
No,
No, it's
no,
voluntary.
no. I think the township would lead by example and give encouragement and you know, information to our residents, but there's nothing forced or any anything
about-
like
No
that
mandates.
in
It's about
there.
being a
There's no
res-
mandates.
It's about being a
Per se.
resource for this so that we can move forward to our goal of energy independence.
I think it's really great. I would hope that, you consider having a day, kind of like the water workshop that we have.
Yeah, we will.
So that the community can come and really understand it, because I would see where, you know, HOAs or people would want to consider, you know, more solar.
Yep.
I love solar.
And that's just like one idea.
Yeah.
You know, it's EV charging stations. You know, we put one here, but people may want to do that in their homes, or maybe, you know, we've been talking about putting more into our public spaces. You know, putting them in our public parks, things like that. So that's all part of that.
So after tonight, will it be posted on the township website so we can all read it?
Yeah.
So right now, the energy transition plan is already on the township website, and that was adopted in the end of 2024, I believe. This one is a more general plan, and this is the local climate action plan, and this will be posted once they do that too. We presented it last year, and then Penn State had to change some of the charts and everything, and then they had a new semester and new students, and it just took them a long time to make those
decided to
edits.
pass what
So
we finished working on, and
Yeah.
at least because you can always adopt changes.
Yeah, it's a living document. So.
Yes.
I have a question. Years ago, you used to have 2 meetings a month, now you have 1. What would be wrong with taking some months and having some topics that people could come to in that off week? So
Yeah, nothing.
you're
It's a great idea.
1 and 4, it could be, and you'd have to do everyone, but pick one topic, so
Yeah.
people don't come in and talk about all sorts of things, something like that.
Like, they actually used to be 4 meetings a month.
Yes.
And what time did they end, Brad?
2:00.
Too long. Too late.
Yeah, 2:00 in the morning.
Well,
That's when all development is being.
Yeah.
You're right. I know. Not always, but.
Yep.
Yep.
Can you give me a second?
Oh, second, sorry.
Okay.
Please,
All in
questions?
favor?
Aye.
Yes. Good. All right. Managers' items, are there some?
Well, hold on.
What?
The deer management program.
I know, but first.
There's one that's written on there,
Okay.
which is reaffirming the roadmaster's recommendations.
Yes.
So you did approve the total amount of the road improvement project bid, but one of this stuff didn't have all the alternative roads on the memo. So
I was gonna.
we wanted to confirm, and we're reaffirming that all the alternates were on there, but no amount of money has changed, so we
Okay.
didn't have to do that. It is still what was going to the lowest total bidder, which was awarded last month at $655,700.50. But we wanted to reaffirm that it does include the alternate 1, alternate 2, and alternate 3 roads that we were discussing
Okay.
last month.
But I'll just be quick.
And if anyone has
Easton
questions.
Road, Research Way to Landisville, Miladies, Millards, Chester, St. Andrews Circle, that's all.
Sir Andrew, yep.
Deep Creek.
Deep Creek Way, Overlook Circle, French Drive, Normandy Court, Gale Circle, Hemlock Circle, Spruce Drive, Pin Oak Drive, Beach Lane, Mill Road from Furlong to Church. There it is.
Okay.
Second,
Second.
questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, did you have your finger up, Bob?
Oh, no, I was
Okay.
just thinking.
He was
Okay.
stretching.
All in
working
favor?
on his shoulder.
I thought in a while.
Working on that shoulder.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Before you,
now,
before you go on, Maggie,
yes,
Dan and I, want to add something to the agenda, which is Wawa. The maintenance period is running out in 2 days.
This is Wawa on Easton Road.
Yes,
New one.
correct, their land development. is running out in 2 days, so we want the board to consider, adding to the agenda the calling of the bond in the event they don't sign an extension to the maintenance period in the next couple of days. The bond is an evergreen bond, but we would still want them to sign an agreement to extend it, and, because we don't want to get into that issue with them.
Okay.
And there's work still to be done.
Correct, yeah, we had a punch list, and just the way it fell on the calendar, the 18-month bond expired in January. So they had, the 3 months, which puts us to the end of this week. So
Good night.
They are working toward doing that work. They just haven't finished. We raised the issue with the maintenance bond last week. They are working toward it. They've assured us they're getting it. We've got something from the Wawa folks, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. We're still waiting for Propco.
So what we're asking is that you add to the agenda, or
So you
vote
want to
add
vote to add to the agenda
The
first.
consideration of calling the Wawa bond in the event they do not sign an extension agreement within the next couple of days.
Okay, so first, I'm gonna move that we consider adding an item to the agenda and to post the agenda so amended on the township website and the township office by the first business day following this meeting. So all in favor, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and the second thing, I'm adding this item because of the explanation you just all heard. And so I move that we direct the staff to call the bond on the Wawa on the Easton Road in the event that they don't sign the agreement to
Before, I think it's the
to extend.
24th,
the-
yeah.
24th, for the
Yeah.
24th of this month.
Okay. All right,
2 days.
all in favor?
Second, you
I got a
Aye.
second,
Aye.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now, I'm gonna move that we consider adding the following item to the agenda and to post the agenda so amended. You didn't think I was.
No,
ready
that's why
for
I was
this
really
because-
impressed. You had all
Yeah.
that.
She was ready.
Because the next one's very dear to my heart. So
Dear, I get it.
Township
Dear.
website, blah, 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 office by the first business day following, the same thing I just told you. Second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor? of adding?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now I am gonna move that we approve and accept the USDA implementation oversight of the sport hunting program in the amount of $24,369.24 plus or minus 10%. Or the USDA and the USDA deer removal program, the agricultural depredation permits in the amount of $59,982.40 plus or minus 10%.
Second.
Second.
Jeff has a
I
comment.
just have a procedural
Yeah.
question, which is, this wasn't on the agenda.
That's
So in
right.
some townships, residents, and I'm not against it. but
Good.
in some townships, residents are against it, and they haven't had a chance to see this or to come and speak to it if they had concerns. So it seems to me it sets a precedent for putting something, a resolution to be voted on, onto the agenda that same night and voting on it.
No, we had this presentation back in November,
Yeah, but
and we
that's not-
asked them to come back.
It's not on the agenda
Yeah.
tonight, we're
Yeah.
taking a vote on it.
It was on
The
the-
residents
okay.
should have a chance.
Well, I'll give you an answer. The three of us decided to do this unanimously because time's a wasting for farmers who are planting. We heard Maxima
Yeah.
The
speak.
fact that it's being
I
decided
hear
to do
ya.
all winter to
I
do
hear
this.
you.
Yep.
And we're pretty sensitive to people being informed. But in this case, we want to take care of these farmers
I'm with-
ASAP.
I'm with you, it
Jeff,
just sets a.
I'm just
But
telling
Jeff,
you.
it's
Jeff, just to give
it's
you-
right here. It's right on the.
Yeah.
It's in the work session.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
Jeff, just to give you an idea,
Yeah, it is on the
this,
work session.
the legality of this oscillates between the state quite a bit. I'm sure Craig could probably tell you. it goes back and forth as to whether or not boards have the ability to do this or not. And I don't know how often it goes back and forth, but it does. So you're right, it is absolutely
Well,
controversial.
it's a relatively recent
Yeah.
statute, to be honest with you.
It's
I mean,
very-
4 or 5 years ago, you didn't have to have stuff on the agenda.
Yeah, I don't even think it was 4.
I think one thing you might want to note for this too is that this was an original presentation that was done in November. This was also discussed at budget in the budget work sessions and actually placed into the
Which
budget.
is
So the
public.
money was
Last year.
put into your budget.
Yeah.
And then they were invited back and they were listed on the work session agenda. So you're right, but I think in this case, there at least was a number of things because a lot of times you don't do that. You decide not to and you put it on the one. I think in talking to the USDA, and I don't want to speak for any of you, they said that it takes a few months to do this.
2 months for permit.
2 months for permits, so that if they waited yet another month, they may miss that window of time, and that's why they decided to do that
And
tonight.
I don't understand why the supervisors saved it to now, as opposed to doing it in December or January. And then this wouldn't be a question, but I can tell you in Newtown, there are a lot of people that have a lot of concerns about deer hunting in the park there. And so residents should have the chance to discuss things that are being voted on. That's my own.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be hunting in the park, this is gonna be on private property. And you know, we had I don't know if you were here, but almost all the large landowners were in here earlier, and they've been asking for this for a while.
I just wanted to add one thing. So once we're screening, this would not be an issue. Because people who wanted to attend the meetings and see if there were any changes to the agenda.
Well, we're streaming.
Well, we're screening online, but I mean.
Right, but you can go back and you can read, watch everything online the next
Yeah,
day.
they'll see it in the morning. But yes, you're exactly
Or
right,
read
and that's
the-
why we're moving
Yeah,
forward with the other
read,
part.
or read the minutes.
Yeah.
But just,
And thank you for supporting us trying to do the rest
forward
of the
with
stuff.
screening.
Okay, I think that's it.
Did we approve? I think-
Do we approve?
I don't
I
know.
don't think you did.
You guys,
All
I
in
got a
favor?
second.
Aye.
Aye.
And
Oh,
I
yes,
think you
because
have
we
to
did questions
actually-
and comments. Right.
Maggie, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, or they voted to add it to the agenda. Did they vote on the?
That's what,
No, I just,
I think that's what she just read through it
yes,
all.
he gave me a second.
They haven't voted on the, okay.
He gave me a second, and we had public comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, I think that's it.
No, you have to vote on actually doing it.
We did.
They did 2 steps.
Okay.
With both steps.
I got my notes. Okay, so I think I'm gonna move to close this meeting.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Work session.